Alright, the capybara and the cattle tyrant. The capybara may be the largest rodent on Earth, but these Goliaths need protection from a swarm of mini monsters. Tiny horseflies try to suck capybara blood, and the only thing stopping them is the cattle tyrant, a tough insect-hunting bird. From the cattle tyrant's perspective, the capybara is the perfect bait for its fly prey. The sworn enemy of the capybara and the natural prey of the cattle tyrant. Horseflies navigate through a hailstorm of beaks to get to the capybara's blood. River swimmers. The capybara may look like a supersized guinea pig, but these beasts are expert swimmers. They can hold their breath for up to 5 minutes. Capybaras can weigh as much as a fridge. The humpback whale and the barnacles. A giant of the ocean, a humpback whale is about the size of a school bus. And, like school buses, these whales often carry passengers. Barnacles. Clamped tight to the whale's body, barnacles get a free ride to the best feeding spots in the sea. What's in it for me? As the whale swims, the barnacles stick out feathery filaments to catch small organisms called plankton. It isn't clear what the humpback gets from the relationship. The barnacles might even slow it down. Upon landing on a whale, barnacles crawl toward the mouth, where they form large colonies. Barnacles start off as tiny swimming larvae. Scientists aren't sure how they manage to hitch a ride on a whale. Barnacles dig into the whale's skin and form a hard shell. The ants and the fungus. Leafcutter ants practically invented civilization before humans. These tiny critters live in complex colonies containing up to 8 million individuals. Their cities are complete with rooms, tunnels, roads, and fungus farms. Growing fungus for the ants to eat is a team effort, and everyone in the colony is involved. On the march. To grow fungus, the ants first need to gather leaves. The ants can decimate a tree in a matter of hours. They tirelessly climb up and down its branches, cutting off as many leaves as they can carry. Chambers. The ants live in giant cities that host up to 2,000 separate chambers with different functions. Her Highness, the founder of this whole operation, the Queen, sits tucked away in her quarters, producing the millions of eggs that will become the ants who serve her. All roads lead to the colony. These ants built roads. They clear paths to and from their home, keeping them clear and guarding them against predators. The roads make it easier to bring leaves home. Leaf farm. The ants use the leaves as a food for their food, fungus. They plant fungus on top of the leaves and use their dung to help it grow. The fungus gets perfect conditions in which to grow. This fungus is only found in the nest of these ants. The crayfish and the worms. The crayfish is more than an animal. It's a whole habitat. On its body, in its gills, and even in its wounds, there are colonies of tiny worms known as Branchiodelida. Good luck pronouncing that. The worms get food and shelter, but do they give anything back? Scientists aren't sure. Let's take a look at the evidence. Take a deep breath. The gills of a crayfish, which it uses to breathe, are perfect homes for the worms. Some scientists think the worms eat tiny organisms and debris inside the gills, clearing them up and allowing the crayfish to breathe easier. Many worms meet Brachiodelida, tiny worms who can't survive without a crayfish. These little creatures are closely related to leeches. The illustration on the left shows one much bigger than they are in real life. Some of them are smaller than the period at the end of this sentence. Wounded animal. Other researchers note that the worms enjoy living inside the open wounds of crayfish. Sometimes they feed on the crayfish's flesh, which makes it harder for the wound to heal. Do you think the worms are good or bad for their crayfish hosts? The elephant shrew and the lily. The elephant shrew, a small mammal from Africa, shares a special relationship with the pagoda lily plant. The elephant shrew is the lily's adorable pollinator in chief, and the lily is the provider of the elephant shrew's favorite food in the whole wide world. Shrew, or elephant. The elephant shrew got its name because its long nose reminded people of an elephant trunk. Coincidentally, scientists later found out that this shrew-like creature isn't a shrew at all. It's actually more closely related to elephants. Fair exchange. When the elephant shrew reaches in for its favorite treat, pagoda lily nectar, it gets pollen on its nose. The elephant shrew carries the pollen to the next plant it visits, in the process pollinating the plant so it can produce seeds. This means both mammal and plant benefit from the relationship. The best item on the menu. Scientists have tried to find a food that the elephant shrew prefers. They offered it water, peanut butter, and apples, but it always went for the pagoda lily. The giant tube worm and the bacteria. At the bottom of the ocean, so deep no sunlight can reach them, two alien-like creatures rely on each other to get a good meal. The freaky-looking giant tube worm doesn't have a mouth or any way to digest food, so it works with tiny living things called bacteria who live inside it to create the energy they both need to survive. The worms grow near boiling hot hydrothermal vents on the seabed. They're heated by the center of the earth and provide the nutrients the bacteria need to eat. Eating for two. The giant tube worm uses its plume to collect nourishing nutrients from the ocean. It then sends them to the bacteria, which in turn create food for the worm. The bacteria get a place to grow and reproduce with constant meals. Healthy diet. The bacteria are doing a great job. The worms can grow to the height of a basketball hoop. Oh, that's got to be really interesting. We're going to not do that one. I wonder why anybody would put that one in there.